Lace it up. Welcome into the building. Welcome into the building. We are here tonight. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Okay. We're here tonight for Love and Marriage Huntsville recap. All right. All I can say is, oh my. Okay. We're about to get into this. Y'all know what y'all doing because y'all doing it already. Y'all putting a choo-choo in the chat, and I'm here for it. Okay. We're about to do this recap. And I'm so glad that y'all are joining me tonight because we got a lot to talk about. Now, listen, if all of y'all follow or most of y'all follow my girl Sherelle over there, Sherelle's World, I just came from over there. And good God, good my, it was, oh, what a conversation. And you know what? Here's the thing. Before I board this train, we all get passionate about these shows. All of us do. And I don't mind the passion. I'm like, wait a minute, do I have crumbs on my face? I don't mind the passion. I'm okay with the passion. I'm okay with whatever you say. But you know what? Sometimes I just, we need to dig a little deeper and have a conversation about the situation, right? And agree to disagree. But it's okay that we have our conversation, right? And usually, you know me over here, I don't bring too much outside stuff from the show. I usually just go strictly by what I see on the show. Wait, you said, wait, it exhausted. Wait, I'm exhausted from that combo. Child, the chat was going bananas. Bananas, okay? The chat was going bananas. Because I think sometimes, and I'm about to board the train soon, I think sometimes with people are dead set on sides. And if you dare speak about one side versus the other, it's like, then they just automatically say you're team that one and you're disrespecting the other one. All I want to say this before we start to do this recap when it comes to the Melody and Martell situation. I feel for both of them. I understand. Now, of course, I'm not dumb. I can't say for sure, right? I understand what those two are going through. I understand their position that they are in. They're a couple going through some real life stuff in front of the world. And when you're a couple going through real life stuff in private, it's hard. You get emotional. You break down. One day you happy, one day you sad, one day you want to choke the person, okay? It's a roller coaster ride. And that's when you're in private. Imagine when you're in public and you're dealing with your emotions and then you're dealing with the chatter from the back. Try to navigate that. It ain't easy. But this is, I can, and I'm not standing 10 toes down on this, but I am almost 9 toes down on this. When people show you who they are, you got to believe them. When a person cheats, because sometimes it could be the female in the relationships that's cheating, or it could be the man, whatever. When a person cheats, tread lightly when you take them back. That's all. And I'm not saying Melody is taking Martell back. I'm not talking about them right now. I'm talking in general, right? When a person cheats, tread lightly on taking them back because they showed you who they are. And not only that, it's detrimental to your health. And that's why I'm a chick that if we going to go in agreement, is you and I, me and you. Don't put me in no unauthorized threesome because it's going to be problems. And that's a message from the diva tonight on Monday. And we're about to board this train. So in the chat, people in the chat, can we get a what? A choo. Okay, because we're about to board this train. Are you ready? Let's get it in now, right? Everybody, I need a choo in the chat. Don't forget, you got to hit that like button. My mod is back in the building. Amen. Thank God, because I missed you and I need you. I hope all is well, and I'm glad to see you here. So everybody, put a choo in the chat because we're about to board this train. In addition to that, okay, don't forget to hit the like button because that is your ticket onto this train. So let's get it on. That's right, how about a zebra don't change its stripes? Like really ever, okay? So let's go. Honey, that's right. Not an unauthorized threesome, not an entanglement, not over here, not with me. I'm good. And let me tell you something. It's not that I'm so strong that it doesn't hurt. It hurts like hell. Heartbreak is real. It's real. It hurts. But you know what? I pray to God every day that I could forget you, every good moment we had together, just so I could get over you, because I'm done. It's a wrap. You go be with whoever you chose to be with, and I'm going to figure myself and my life out. So we got a choo-choo in the chat. I need to board this train. So y'all know what I got to say? All aboard, everybody, because I'm about to board the train with our riders tonight, and we're going to have a conversation because we got to get into it. And listen, a lot of people were thinking, oh, when I was over at Sherrillsville, these people don't watch Love and Mary's Huntsville. Well, let me tell y'all something. This chick right here been a fan from day one. You better go back on my channel. Now, listen, I may not have the subscribership, but on this channel, check it out. I got over 1,000 videos. I've been recapping Love and Marriage Huntsville from day one. You better ask somebody, okay? So listen, hey, Auntie Robin, I see you here.
I am. I'm ready to chat. Choo-choo.
Choo-choo to my monthly ticket holder in the building. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva. Hey, Auntie Robin. I ain't going to call you Auntie. I'm going to just say Robin because I'm 50, so very few people are my auntie.
Listen, my mama used to call me that even.
Oh, that's
okay.
But you,
okay,
you
cool,
want to know
cool.
what? No, in some families, the aunt is younger than the niece or the nephew. But we ain't gonna go there tonight. But that happens in some families. Yeah, I gotta.
In mine too.
Come on now, Leah. If we gonna talk, we gonna talk. Hey, Eve.
Hello. In my family, they call me Queen Elizabeth the 47th, but you all can call me Queen.
We could call you what?
Amen.
Queen.
All right, Queen. I'm trying to tell you. Let's go. Holler in the building. Choo choo. Okay. Choo choo. Hey, Julius.
Hey, y'all.
Yes.
In a while, I've been going through a little bit of a cold, but I figure I should stop by tonight.
Stop by the train, honey. Hop on and off as you please. We ain't mad at you. Thank you for being here. And you know what? Is it a cold or is it these darn allergies?
Sinus infection from the allergies.
That part. I rebuke these darn allergies. Okay, rebuke them. Hey, Emmanuel.
Hey, guys. Happy Monday.
Happy
Hey,
Monday.
Emmanuel. I missed you.
Hey.
Well, hey, in my opinion, listen, I got tea tonight because they child, we done been through it. We done been child, we was run over by the tracks and everything, but we're still standing. How you doing, in my opinion?
Boy, I tell you, I think we in a whole nother planet. They still talking about us on another channel.
Are you serious?
Hot hearing, hot tea or something. Oh my God, she's just dragging all of us.
Oh my.
Well, I guess whatever. It is what it is, right? I mean, if that's what you got to use for your content, then God bless you.
Not only that, listen, they said Clyde Otis said if it wasn't for other people in the weather, people wouldn't have nothing to talk about.
Come on now. We're moving forward. We're about to recap this interview, okay? I mean, this episode. Hey, Adele.
Hi.
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 Hey, Sam. Yeah,
Hey.
Hey, did Sam, have you been here before?
Yes, this Angel Eyes.
Oh, Angel. Okay, now. Well, you was over there too. All right, we all got we will side.
Oh yes.
We will side. Okay, we're doing okay now. Oh, you know what, guys? Do me a favor, Robin. Take over for a minute. I gotta grab this phone call, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Did we miss anybody in the building? First of all, have we heard from everybody? Okay.
Well,
yes, ma'am.
Well, this should be fun because I've never done this before, but I sure can talk. So
you got it, Robin. Hit it.
Listen, I was just ready to give my opinion, like my name was in my opinion, but this episode began with the conclusion of the spa visit. We had Tiffany with her tiff and Mel beating a hasty retreat. What did you think of that scene, Leo?
Well, you know what? Melody kills me with her nice nasty. She kills me with her nice nasty. So she hit us with her nice nasty, gathered her things, and went ahead and split the scene. And then, but Tiffany is messy. Tiffany is messy, even though she is pregnant. And a lot of things in my personal life, I am just like, okay, I said my point, I'm done with it. But not Tiffany. Tiffany is trying to make sure her point is thoroughly understood. And she ain't got nothing to do with it. And she'll say she ain't got nothing to do with it, but she'll still keep on going. Even though she got a valid point. If you can't trust your family to keep your name right in their mouth, who can you trust?
Well, some people have said that Tiffany's behavior, although it's not much different than it has been in the past, she's using what's called pregnancy privilege.
She is.
Like when people get old,
She
you're like,
is.
oh, they earned the right to talk like that. She's using her pregnancy privilege. E, what do you say?
And we're on the first scene, right?
Yes, ma'am.
For me, I thought Tiffany and Stormy were spot on. I was team Stormy and team Tiffany. I thought that they came in and they did the job that needed to be done. To me, Melody acted like she doesn't profit off of these grown people sitting in the spa and cutting the damn fool. How are you so proud to be a producer but you're putting down your critically acclaimed staff every chance you get? It's almost like because it wasn't about Mel and she was so not needed in that moment, she got up and left. To me, that's attention seeking. Sorry, my braces are getting the best of me. But you got to really think about it. Because if Mel was truly bothered by the conversation and she feared conflict, because she said, oh, this is getting to be too much. Why did she even walk over there with them when they went over there to that room with Tisha, her cousin, and Kimmi? Because they came in hot. Stormy went over there with the intention to pop off. So if you truly felt uncomfortable, why didn't you leave then? I can't with Mel because she wants to be above it all and she's not above anything. She's right there low with them. And I really want Carlos to give Mel her own show with Mel's mama, Mel's brother, and Mel's 13 kids. And let's see who will watch it. Because Melody is not a good fit to be a part of an ensemble cast. She does not get along well with others. And I'm shocked that she's not on tour. She's supposed to be the next Beyonce, according to the OWN network. Why wasn't she there to open for Escape and SWB? That's something that Carlos could have filmed since he loved poaching the Bravo audience. I mean, I'm just over Mel. To me, cancel her. She needs to be fired.
How many kids did you just accuse her of having?
13, 14, 15, 16. It's more than 2.
Lord have us mercy. Sam, what do you think about Mel having 100 kids, according to E?
Well, see, my thing is, yeah, that's all I got to say on that. But Melanie is a mess. Melanie is a mess whenever she does show up. She's not always present, and unfortunately, it is not lately, it is not a good look for her. So I do agree with the first caller that she does probably need her own show. I don't know who all is gonna watch it, but yeah. But then whenever you are physically present, you should be engaging and not condescending and, oh no, that's not me. That is beneath me. No, me. Yeah, no. It is not the Melanie show. It's not.
Not anymore. Well, it was supposed to be in the beginning. Emmanuel, help us out here.
Yeah, well, first of all, I was so confused Saturday because I couldn't find the episode. There was a whole mix up with the title, episode 2, whatever. But as far as the scene, I agree with what E said. I think that when it's the topic's not about Melody, she has no energy. She wants to be the center of attention. She saw that nobody was paying attention to her, so she excused herself. And I think she did it in a very judgy way, in a very holier than thou type of way, like, oh, I'm too good for y'all's drama. Another thing, Let me tell you something. Kiki was about to fight Tiffany pregnant and all. She did not care. Y'all saw the way Tisha had to hold her face down. She knew that Kiki was like, Kiki don't play. So good thing Tisha hold her down. And I love Stormy, and I agree with what she told Mel. She said, you know what, I think it's good that we're talking, because if we don't, we're going to, bottle up these feelings, and, who knows what's going to happen. So, yeah, I do think Tiffany, I like Tiffany, but I do think she was just kind of like poking the bear. I don't really think that was the place for her to address Kiki, but yeah.
Yeah, so what's her name? Tiffany needed to have something to say, some reason to be there, I'm guessing.
Right.
Miss Adele, you look like you're just waiting to say something. Where you holding your chin? Are you trying to hold your chin like that to keep your mouth from dropping open? Come on, let's hear from you.
Listening, to be honest, at this point, I'm just following in my opinion and diva from Cheryl to here. I'm more interested in the overall logistic and lessons of this situation, because I didn't watch the episode, to be honest with you. I like the conversations we're having around this, because there's so much that's happening in their lives that we can take as lessons. And I think there's been so much that's been said that we can learn from. And so I'm just want to be very clear. I did not watch the episode.
Okay, I think I just saw it yesterday myself, and I'm gonna get to you next, in my opinion. But Miss Adele, what I'm really hoping, and Diva will come in and check me. I'm hoping that we can first and foremost really concentrate on what we see on the screen. Like, have you ever been on jury duty? If you go on jury duty, you listen.
I started it once, but really and truly, I didn't fit in the jury.
Okay, so here's what happens. If you sit on a jury, you go sit through a trial, and when you go to deliberate, one of the things that the judge will instruct you is that they will tell you cannot consider facts that were not presented. So if it didn't happen in this courtroom, if you didn't hear it here, if you heard it on social media, if you happen to hear people talk about it in the street, we ain't talking about that because it's not relevant. And I'm only saying that because of how edited these shows are. And,
Right.
I know about these backstories and other conversations that have been happening. And even still, we don't have all the information. And my hope is that everybody doesn't get too amped up outside of the show. When Diva gets back, she can address that. But I personally am not here for that, only because it is so contentious. In my opinion, let loose. Let's hear it.
Child. First of all, let me say hello to everybody, okay? First of all, let me
Hey,
get the
in my
clear.
Hey,
opinion,
baby.
Hey, opinion.
Listen here. Okay, so what we have in here is a case of, well, it's not me that's gonna be recording, so I'm gonna see myself out. And in that case, I agree with her. Go ahead and see yourself out, because we weren't getting that from you anyway. Um, of course, we know Tiffany trying to save her poor chick, so she have to be a little messy. Let's let her have her little mess, because I got a feeling all this mess she piling up, she finna get what she was asking for. Okay, so we're gonna let her have it. Let me tell you something, Stormy. I like you, okay, and that's saying a lot if I like you, because y'all people on this show is making me hate reality TV. Like, oh my God, like it's too much. Okay, I feel like this is the point where we have to say, Stormy, you don't know the situation. You jumped in. You call yourself classifying somebody a friend. That's why everybody need to be careful when they throw that word friend around.
Mm-hmm.
You got a friend and you got an associate, okay? All y'all is associates, okay? Nobody is friends on this show. Let's quit throwing that word around, because every season we see a friendship break up. That's not a friendship. It was an associateship, okay? Y'all are associates.
Mm-hmm.
Because y'all work on the same show. When y'all clock in, y'all associates. When y'all clock out, y'all don't know each other, okay? Let's just keep it cute. But that's all I got to say for right now.
Okay, so listen, I have to tell you, I don't have notes, so you'll please all forgive me if I jump around the episode. But one of the things I'd like to talk about was that conversation between Gino and Maurice. The new business partner.
I
Gino
love
said,
that conversation. I love that conversation.
and what did you love about that conversation, Leo?
What I liked about it is that what's his name? Gino?
Gino.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gino was given a genuine perspective about partnership. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if something happens to you and she don't know, if Tisha don't know the ins and outs of the business, Marsau is hurting his whole family by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a certain thing about this show that makes me check in and check out that's really irritating to me. It's how I understand it may be edited this way, but the patriarchy is sickening in this show. I'ma just tell you. Just the so that's what made me enjoy Gino's conversation with Marcel, because it's realizing, if you in business, is she the owner just for the head of title, or is she the owner so y'all can build this generational wealth that you talked about with your dad, which I love that conversation too. You got to include her. She is your partner, not just your wife. Talking about, did you miss your mama cooking food? I'm trying to tell y'all, it's a lot of stuff about this show and stuff they say out their mouth I really don't like. But that's all.
You know, I have to say about Gino, for me, there were two things that stood out. The first of them was that he seemed very sincere. He was practical. He made just so much sense. And I think that he had a realization that Marceau kind of treats Tisha more like his child than his spouse or even business partner. But then the messy side said, I feel like Gino just exposed Marceau, because I got the impression that he, part of when Marceau claimed he wanted to protect his wife, I don't think he wants to protect her. I think that he wants to shield her from a lot of the truth. I got the impression that he is not, when he has difficulties in the business, he doesn't share them, and he doesn't want her to see that, because that will make him look too vulnerable and even fail at times, and he's afraid to do that, because in as much as I don't know what to call the relationship, but I think that he is intimidated by her for some reasons that I have yet to be able to explain. But Julius, what did you think about Gino and how he spoke with Marceau?
They messy. I mean, I mean, it's like, um, you know, the it's just, to me, I understand if you want to, like, not tell your spouse certain things, but, like, if it's regarding money or something, give her a heads up. And it's just like, as I was hearing you talk, Miss Robin, I said, nah, he has to tell it. They have to be in communication. I understand, like, wanting to keep his family out of that, but
Like
Let me
Michelle just said,
Good. Okay,
right?
I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I want to say thank you really quick, Robin, but go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. So go ahead and then I'll talk after you.
Oh, sure. I was just gonna say, Michelle. It passed. She just had a comment, was that she thinks that Gino said what he said for a reason, and there's probably a dot after. Let us know what you think, Michelle. Take it away, Diva.
Okay. First of all, let me say to you, Robin, you the monthly ticket holder for a reason. Okay. Thank you for holding it down. I had a very important phone call, and all I want to say, y'all, is I got an interview in the works that's gonna blow your mind next week. We about to have us a good old
ooh,
time. Okay.
I'm
Oh,
so excited.
awesome.
I had the
All
grab
right
that
Awesome.
now.
call. It's going to go down. We're going to have us a nice interview next week. Okay. You know what? We get these interviews and then it's a nice little intimate conversation. Okay. So we're going to have us a ball next week. Great interview, great person. You're going to enjoy this. Now, let me say really quickly, I know y'all must already got to the spa scene. So let me just say my thoughts on the spa scene. When we was opening up, they was closing out the spa scene. Melody, right? Melody kindly caught up. She talked in her Zen voice and she said deuces. All right. You know what? The thing I will say about Melody that I feel was right. how many times, if we're coming to a spa, and usually spa, you think Zen, right? How we supposed to be relaxing and y'all stressing me out with these conversations that are repetitive and we seem to get nowhere. So on that note, I agree with her, but I also agreed with Stormy and everyone else. If we don't talk about it, the tension will always remain in the room for every place and everything that we do, right? It's going to be messy. So I kind of agreed with all parties in the situation, but you got to have some resolution, but you got to know the right time and place to have the resolution, right? Don't come to me trying to resolve something and I'm in church praising the Lord. You should have caught me when I was over there getting my food at McDonald's or wherever I was, okay? So don't be trying to have resolution in a spa day. Let's just relax and maybe catch me another day and we have this resolution. So that's what I thought about the spa situation. I'm not quite sure how what's the cousin name that's on here now?
Kiki.
Kiki.
I'm not quite sure how Kiki is fitting in. I'm going to give Kiki a moment. I'm going to give her a chance, but it's always hard to develop your character when you came in, you was ushered in based on mess, right? So that's how we get to know you. And to me, it's always hard to go backwards and clean something up. That's why, they say first impressions are everything, right? Because your first impression kind of lays the foundation to who you are and what's going to happen. So, that's my thing with that. Now, I know y'all was up to the scene with Martell, Marsau. Did y'all go to that one, Martell, Marsau, Maurice, with the baseball outing? Did y'all talk about that already?
No, we were talking about
No.
Okay, so
Marcel.
let's go to that. Let's go back to that scene. So Martell, Marsau, and Maurice, they go to the baseball range, right? They kind of meet up there. And I think that unfortunately the men on this show, they all have some type of dynamic that is going on that is not, it leans more towards a negative direction than a positive. So how do two negatives or three negatives lead find their road to positivity? You know what I'm trying to say? They're all mad. So you got Martell, who's in a whole hot heat water, and then he meets up with the brothers, the Scott brothers. That's what I'm gonna call them from out now on, right? The Scott brothers, and there is, you meet up with the Scott brothers, and they're trying to help you, but they need help themselves. I mean, it's like three people that or alcoholics talking about, I'm gonna save you.
The blind leading the blind.
That part, thank you, Angel Eyes. The blind leading the blind. So they had this meeting, and I will say this: Martell is in a very peculiar situation, to say the least. He's navigating divorce, but on top of him navigating divorce, he has a baby mother in the mix of this thing, and then he has Charae. Okay, he has a girlfriend, and I'm of the mindset, but many people are not. To me, when you've been in any relationship, whether you was married or not, over 5 years, especially over a decade, before you jump into a relationship with anybody else, I think you need to sit back and take time to reflect, gather yourself, and really truly fall out of love in that romantic way with the person you was previously with. So when you get in a relationship too soon, to me, that mate is always haunting your new relationship. And that's just, my opinion. So these two, they're all together. And the thing that interests me in this conversation that they was having, the Scott brothers kind of operate from a place of lack, so to speak. They grew up, as Marcel was quoted as saying, they grew up, there's some noise. Let me just mute, what's it? Mute yourself if you're not speaking yet, because I'm hearing noise. They grew up in a place where they was kind of like, didn't have money. And so Marcel said we were poor. He said we were not poor, we just didn't have money. That's a good way of looking at the situation. I get what he's trying to say. But he also said that his dad was 27 and already had 8 kids. That's a lot. To be 27 and have over have what 9-10 mouths to feed, because if you had 8 kids, you got to feed your 8 kids and you got to feed your wife and yourself. At 27, that's a lot, right? But we also know at some point the dad left because, and the mom, I believe, was left to raise a family. I don't know, it's a lot going on there. But now it seems like with the Scotts, we're getting to know they're putting the dad in this storyline a little bit more. I don't know if y'all kind of would notice that. Now, this is the part that troubled me. Martell said in this baseball meeting that he wants more kids, and he spoke to Charae about it. Now, y'all know, let's be cool together, right? Y'all know I'm not age shaming, but Charae is of a certain age. Who he having kids with? Why are you with Charae if you even know you want to have more kids? But my other thing is, why are we having more kids? Now, this is the part I appreciate with Maurice. Maurice said that 2020 is a year of action and just do it. And I connected when he said that because I feel like any family that gets a diagnosis that is scary, right? And so Kimmi went through the breast cancer. She's still going through it, right? Diagnosis. I think for the most part, a lot of families, that changes your mind, heart, and soul, and the way you look at life, right? You look at it, you start to look at it through a different lens, right? And I think that he's now looking at life through a different lens because overnight his wife was facing a illness that could have took her life. And I think now he's maybe not going to engage in so many of the shenanigans because he has a different perspective on life. So I did like the baseball scene, but I just think too bad it wasn't another man there that could have perhaps led them all to the light, like look to the left and the light is that way, so to speak. But it was what it was. And, every now and then, I will say this, not a big fan of his, but you know what? Every now and then, Marsau says some gems, but it's one of those situations where right message, wrong messenger. So I'll kind of stop there. I want us to kind of talk about that scene a little bit. Robin, what are your thoughts on that? Yeah, cancer turns your life upside down for sure. For sure. So, Robin, what was your thoughts on that baseball scene? Are you there? Did I lose you? Did I lose everybody?
No,
No.
I'm here.
No.
No, we
No,
here.
we're here.
Okay. So I don't hear Robin. So Leo, I'm gonna come to you.
I'll relinquish my time to Emmanuel or either E or Julius.
Okay.
No thoughts.
Okay, no thoughts. Okay. Emmanuel, what are your thoughts about the baseball scene?
Well, one last thing about the spa night. Since we saw all the girls together, I just wanted to ask everyone: do y'all miss Stormy? I'm sorry, Destiny.
No.
Well, okay. So the answer is no, because I think Destiny had trouble navigating her life on the camera. And she always showed up, and maybe it's not her. Hey, Juice. Thanks for stopping through. She always showed up with a mean face. She always showed up like she didn't want to be bothered. And maybe it was because of things that was going on inside her. But listen, just in life, period, sometimes it's hard to navigate your life. But you really got to learn how to navigate your life if you signed up for a reality TV show, right? If you signed up for it, then you got to play the game. Whatever the game is, you got to figure out how to play the game, because you got to connect with the audience. That's your meal ticket. And it's no different than any other job, right? If you're a cashier, you engage with the people. There's one cashier at my local supermarket. I don't know what this girl drinks, but everybody loves her. I sometimes see people get on her line no matter how long it is, just because she's so nice. And they love talking to her. And that's just insane, right? But that's how great this person is. So you got to learn how to engage.
Right. Okay, yeah. And then for the baseball scene, I was like, oh my God, what a crowd to be giving each other advice, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially when Marsau told Martell he could date as many people as he wanted at the same time. I was like, really? But one of the things that I kind of got out of that too is I'm sure they probably are both like in agreement, both Martell and Charae, that they're doing this. It helps both of them in their shows, but I do kind of worry that maybe Charae will take it seriously, and I'm
Mm,
kind of worried that she'll fall for him because he
mhm,
clearly playing. He didn't even answer that phone call. He declined it real quick.
mhm.
So that's the one thing I did think when I saw that scene.
Yeah, and I think Sheree is very vulnerable.
Right, exactly.
Her
Yeah.
situation with Tyrone, her
Mm-hmm.
situation with her husband, her ex-husband. I think she always kinds of ends up somehow, some way with the same type of man. They just have a different name. And so, on that note, Sheree really needs to go to counseling to figure out, how do I always end up with men that are unavailable, don't really want to be with me, and she's a good looking woman, and
Yep.
for her age, and great body, amazing body. So it's like, you have, from aesthetic wise, you're absolutely gorgeous, but how do you keep ending up with these men that are just not available? She got with Tyrone when he was still behind bars, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but pretty much unavailable. She's with Martell, and he's unavailable. He has 4 young children. Young. Okay, or is it 5? Am I counting wrong? But he has, all his children are young. And so he has major responsibilities. And this is who she gets with. And then she even said, which I thought was so reckless. She said that, I saw something in I think the previews for Roa, and she was like, she really wants him to move to Atlanta. Huh? I said to myself, huh? How selfish is that?
Right. And I mean, she's not gonna have more kids. I mean, she already has grandchildren.
That part, I
So
forgot about
yeah.
that part. Yes, yep. So thank you, Emmanuel. So who Julius, did I come to you on this baseball scene? What are your thoughts?
My first thought was that they play baseball. I'm just kidding. That's me being goofy. But I think if they're just sitting around talking, watching the kids at the ball game, I mean that is a change of pace. So I think it's good to see. As far as like the multiple relationship thing, yeah, no. But other than that, you know, we need to see, more positive stuff come out of these reality shows instead of all this fighting and stuff.
Yeah. Your thoughts, baseball?
So listen,
when you say
Martell, huh?
listen, go ahead, I'm listening.
Give it to her.
Martell put on some hoochie daddy shorts for
Mm,
a day out with the fellas in the
Yes, he
middle
did.
of winter. Oh,
Yes, he
okay.
did.
If having 5 kids by 2 different women wasn't enough, then he is pressing the ignore button on Sheree's phone call. Ding, ding, ding.
mm,
Isn't this familiar? Because, like you said, Diva, we just saw Tyrone ignoring Sheree's phone call
mm,
last August when
mm.
she was outside the restaurant waiting on Tyrone to get away from the halfway house. How
No.
do you get played on Bravo on channel 72 and then go back down to OWN and get played on that network too? Come on, Sheree, give me a break. I mean, enough is enough. After she was on Fix My Life with Iyanla, I expected something better from Sheree. I
Mhm.
feel like Sheree have embarrassed older women in her age bracket enough. This is unacceptable. And then Martell is talking about having more kids. Sheree, I wish you would try to get pregnant and have a baby by Martell at your big age. Woo Lord. This is just not smart. And she gave her platform away to a man wearing hoochie daddy shorts to go play baseball with other men. Let's be clear. Sheree being on Huntsville benefits Roa zilch. Roa's ratings are higher than Huntsville.
Fact.
Plus, the Roa fans never wanted Sheree back this third time to begin with. Did we forget what she just did last summer with Shein? She bought 2,000 jogging pants for 72 cents each and then charged people $2,000 for each pair after she ironed a star on it on the pocket. Come on. Sheree and Martell are identical hustlers. You
Mm.
guys have to see this. And they're too old for this mess. They deserve each other.
Well, that's fact. You spoke a word right there. Adele, what are your thoughts? Adele, are you there?
Sorry, my mic was muted. I
Okay,
had to. Um, I do watch Atlanta, but I don't watch um this show. I got interested because of your conversations that you guys been having over the last few days. So I'm following you and my opinion all over the internet. So as for Sheree, because I do know her history, I feel really sad for her because I know, like you said, she's been in some very abusive relationship, and I tend to think you as women, we attract who we are with the men we go out with. And I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'm not sure what Yolanda pointed out to her, but there's something that she needs to fix with herself before that cycle is broken. And I hope she's able to do it before she gets to a place where, it's another situation she has to look back on that broke her heart. So I just pray for her.
I pray for her too, but and you know what? I think that these women, you're on TV and you're representing a lot. Too much is given, much is required, so to speak. And if this is the best you got, it's pretty sad. But we'll move on. But
wait, can I say something?
Of course.
Okay, first of all, I cannot stand it when they have these scenes with them like in batting cages. Only because I would much prefer to see them like doing T-ball because they suck. Nobody knows how to hit a ball. I can't stand it. I am vacillating my opinion about this whole Martell Charae thing. I still believe it's all for the TV folks. Nothing about it is real except for their names. But I wonder if Charae really, if she A, doesn't need to fix something with herself, or B, she doesn't really want to have a serious, sustained relationship. Because the relationships that we have seen her have, outside of Bob, which was more consequential because they were married and had the children.
Right.
I feel like she feels like she has to do it for the show. I don't get the impression that she really has a desire for a companion. But I don't know, things could have changed because I haven't watched Roa in years. But she doesn't strike me as someone who is emotionally available at all.
I must say this to you, Robin. I do believe that she needs a storyline, but I also believe that Charae. I'm saying I always because it's Charae, right?
Yeah.
I also believe that she really does want love,
She
but
wants it, but she doesn't know how to get it.
that part,
It's a battle. It's an internal conflict.
yeah.
Sorry, Diva, I didn't
First
mean to
of all,
interrupt.
Sheree doesn't love herself.
Yeah, that
Sheree
part.
doesn't love
That
herself.
part too, right? It's a mixture of all of the above. And thank you again, Robin. They say you did a good job. Yes. So I do believe it's a mixture of all of that. But see, the thing is, people didn't like Iyanla. But again, when they do these reality shows, let's be clear, it has to be some form of drama. Because the people, a majority of the people, and I'm not saying everybody that watch reality TV, they watching it for the drama. Because I could tell you a whole bunch of reality shows where it wasn't all of that drama and they didn't last that long. I think one of the longest, hey Nadi, I think one of the longest
OMG, hey,
lasting,
Nadi. Sorry.
no, you're okay. I think one of the longest lasting reality shows that it wasn't all drama was Run's House. And I love that show. But I also love, and it was on the OWN channel, and I always forget the name, but I want to say Raising Elijah. I forgot the kid's name, but it's the comedian, and she adopted the little boy.
Oh yeah, Kim Whitley.
Kim Whitley. That show, I love that show. And even when they had drama, it wasn't like nasty, drag down drama. It was just, real life stuff going on. But again, they ended up canceling that show.
For no good reason. It
Yeah.
was the number one rated show at the time, and the name
Yep.
of the show was Raising Whitney.
Thank you.
Whitney.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So it's like when there are these heartfelt reality shows, they don't get to stay on. But then you have these drama filled shows and they last for decades. But I don't want to get too far off the train track. I come to you, Emmanuel, already about this scene, and I went to
Yes.
this, right. Angel Eyes, did I come to you?
No, no,
Okay.
ma'am. But as far as the baseball scene,
Uh-huh.
um, the only thing I really got to say is the blind, leading the blind,
That
leading the
part.
blind, the three blind mice,
The
and
three blind mice.
um,
Yes.
you know, it is sad about Sheree because in my eyes, looking at her from both ends and watching her over the years at Roa,
Mm-hmm.
she has a very, very, very sad outlook on herself. And most of it is because of how her husband beat her down. I mean,
Mm.
her ex-husband, sorry, beat her down. That's the reason why it took us so long to even bring out She by Sheree. Because even though it was something positive, and everybody was pouring into her, she
Mm.
couldn't find it in herself to do it for herself in a timely manner. It is like everybody had to push her. So even it's just looking at that journey and the psychological battle that she was fighting just to get something that is going to profit her out on the market shows me that that is the same struggle she has within herself, going in and out of these toxic, non-toxic, non-existent relationships.
Mm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it is just that battle. And after she meets up with someone that's an opportunist, narcissist, who is willing to exploit anything or anyone to get himself in a better light and in a better position because he lost his meal ticket. So here you go. You have two toxic, one of them doesn't care about herself, the other one thinks too highly about himself,
Facts.
coming together, and yeah, it's just a total
That's
mess.
it's a total mess. You know what, Danielle? I watched that show too. I forgot all about it. Did anybody watch this too? I don't want to butcher their last name. The Tankers. It was he was he's in gospel, right? I want to say he's in gospel, but that was a good reality show too. But again, it went off the air. And I forgot what platform it came on. In my opinion, what do you think about this baseball scene?
Robin, I'm gonna tell you, you know what? You all right with me. You see the good in everybody. I'm so good. I'm with you right there with that she by she in. Hey. Um, uh, as a matter of fact, let me tell you something. Here's the thing. Sheree has dealt with nothing but toxic people his whole life. Her whole life. Even her husband, one good person, okay? Let me
Mhm.
tell you. First of all, he cheated on her and left her broken and confused too. And she had to fight for the custody of her kids. Problem with Sheree is she's not picking a man for her for her. She's picking a man for he likes me. Because who in the world would get with Tyrone out of in jail? Okay, like make that make sense. Okay, we trying to get rid of those kind of people. Okay, we trying to uplift up here, and then for you to have, hey, sorry, my grown kids that came over here and they acting a donkey. They acting worse than a baby. Let me tell you something, baby. A man won't do nothing you don't let him do to you. Okay, and I keep telling my kids that to this day. I have to tell them. You know what I'm saying? You carry yourself with respect, so people see you with respect. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody see your skirt show. And let me tell you something. First of all, Marsau, Martell, or Maurice need not tell nobody no advice. Okay, we're gonna need them to get some counseling first and some help.
That part right there. They and M. Okay, all M's. Ain't that something? All M's, and they all a hot mess. Cheryl, you're in the building. What are your thoughts?
Hello, ladies. How y'all doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm good. Oh gosh, Sheree. I mean, this lady. I mean, do these women have any self-esteem? Do this woman have self-esteem or any kind of
Mm,
self-worth? I mean, you're messing with a man that's plopping babies all over the place.
mm,
leaving women single and destitute. Besides Melody, she's the boss. But I just don't get Charae. Charae has a daughter that's a few years younger than Martell is. Martell could possibly be her son. Like, what is she doing? Like, it seemed like a no good man is her cup of tea. Like every man she's ever gotten with. Well, I mean, I just don't understand it.
And for somebody who he really likes and wants to get to know, you was only in the baseball range. You couldn't pick up a phone call.
You see what he did?
Okay.
But here goes Charae. Oh, he's just like that on the show. He treats me with respect. You call that respect? And then he did it on camera. And she says she watches the show. So I just don't, Charae.
You watched the show and you would on purpose get yourself into that mess.
Exactly. And then you just finished saying, I've been watching Housewives of Atlanta for a very long time. And and allegedly she's claiming that her husband abused her. He wasn't good to her. He wouldn't pay child support to her or anything. So then you go and turn around and get with the same kind of man. The same kind of man. He don't pay child support. He plopping babies all over the place. He's going on a smear campaign against his ex-wife, trying to make her out to be this bad person to everybody that will listen. I mean, oh my God,
it's messy.
It's just.
Go ahead.
It's a hot mess. It's a hot mess.
A hot mess. Savannah, I forgot all about it. I watched this show too. I just binge watched Joan and Melissa reality show this weekend, and it was so refreshing to see reality TV with humor, love, and real life issues, plus a dash of shade. First of all, I love Joan Rivers, so I did watch that show also. But you know what's so ironic? She told Melissa, her daughter, on the show that because her daughter wanted her to promise her. That's why it was so ironic that she ended up having surgery and passing. Her daughter said, please promise me you will never get any more plastic surgery. And she was like, I can't promise you that. She said, this is what I like to do. It is what it is. And she said, don't worry, I'm taking care of you. And I forgot her grandson's name. She said, y'all be well taken care of when I go, so don't worry about me. And it was so ironic that not too long after that, she went for that procedure, that plastic surgery procedure, and she passed.
You know what, Diva? I remember Whoopi and her daughter Alex also were trying to. I think they had a reality show, but it pretty much went nowhere because they also wanted it to be like, nice family, and yeah, they don't last.
They don't last because that's not what the people really want, right? Judge Mathis, I don't know if this show was renewed. He had a reality TV show with his family, and actually a really nice family.
And I like that show. Right? I liked it. I think 2 episodes. I liked it.
Yeah, and Judge Mathis, I saw a different side of him. Like, because on the stand when he was doing his judge show, he was messy. But and with his family, so understanding and caring. I don't know. I just saw a different, and been with his wife for years.
Linda.
Great show. But again, I don't think they renewed it because people want the mess. So and anybody who's doing TV, they're in the business of making money and getting ratings, right? I didn't see the Ricky Smiley reality show. How was it?
I never saw it.
I never saw it. I don't know what
that one. I don't think I saw it.
They were funny, and they just seemed like a really good family. All right, so that was the baseball range. So I know when I came back, y'all was talking about the Pete's. I do remember that. That was another good one.
But wait, they messed that show up. They went from being on the Oprah Winfrey Show as For Pete's Sake, and then they became, I don't know, they changed. It went from the whole family to being focused on the RJ and his autism. But they were both good, but the first one was better.
The first one was better. I do remember that too. Robin. Okay, so y'all, when I came back, y'all was talking about Marcel, Gino. I didn't get to hear what y'all was saying because I was on the phone, but I actually enjoyed that conversation. I felt like Gino is the thing that Marcel needed.
Oh no, maybe
Oh, yeah, didn't talk. Okay, no, I'm gonna add the what happened there. I felt like Gino should have been at the baseball range. Okay, because he could have gave all of them, all the M's, some good insight. And I understand both sides of the coin, right? Because I have friends. My sister's been married for over 30 something years, and her husband just does everything. Okay. She don't have to worry about nothing. Okay. And I have other cousins and stuff that my one cousin met her husband in high school and they think it's thieves. But they don't, and I had another friend that Mary didn't even know how she had to go to banking. And unfortunately, when something happened to her husband, she was lost, literally, physically, emotionally, everything, because she never had to worry about the light bill, nothing. And she just didn't even know where to go to do everything. So I get the husbands, and usually it's very old school. I get the husbands that like they feel like I'm, not in an arrogant way, like I'm the head of the household. You the wife, just live your good life, and I got everything. I'm gonna take care of everything, so to speak. But Gino has some very good points. I always love men that have insight, right? Because Gino said he wished that he was more of a partner with his wife. It always breaks my heart when people learn their lesson after the fact. It would be nice if people could learn their lesson in real time, right? So here he is, now that he lost his good wife that he had, he's reflecting back, but he's man enough to admit it, that he wished he did things differently. And that's a man to me who is ready to now go into another relationship, because you realize the error of your ways. And perhaps when you get with the new one, not to say you won't make mistakes, right? But you probably won't make the same mistakes because you learned the value of a good woman. So I also like the fact that Gino said we need checks and balances in this business. What business operates where you and I decide we're about to spend $1 million on this project and nobody checks us or nobody checks it? That's a business that's going to go out of business fast. So I felt that Gino was very insightful. He had a word in his mouth. And I felt like for the first time ever, I don't know if he was playing or not, that Marsau connected with it, right? He understood it. It was like he had an aha moment. He was like, you can't, and Gino even told her, you can tell your wife and still shield your wife. I said, look at this man right here dropping the gems. I hope the people is catching it. Okay.
Too bad. Too bad. I don't think it stuck for them, Diva. Let me tell you, I just don't think.
And then, but what I did like about Marcel is that, listen, any relationship, even if you're with your girlfriends or whatever, it's a roller coaster ride. And y'all have to decide, is our relationship good enough for us to ride the good and the bad and still stay together? I have over 4 girlfriends that literally we known each other over 20 years. I ain't never called nobody no B. We never cursed each other.
Come on.
We love each other to the bone. To the point when I went through a situation in my life, when I say darn near every one of my girlfriends stepped up without me even asking and came through for me, right? I'm in my kitchen right now. I know y'all could always tell whatever, but the table that I'm sitting at was a table from my girlfriend. And just because of the significance of it, this table is going to have to fall apart, like the legs fall off and everything. I will never get rid of this table. I love to collect artwork. There's another picture. I just didn't find out a space in my home to put it yet. When I graduated from nursing school, my girlfriend was like, girl, I ain't got no money. I said, girl, I don't care nothing about that, right? But I always, when I went to my girlfriend's house, I will always tell her, oh my God, girl, I love that picture on your wall, and we gotta find it for me. When I graduated from nursing school, my girlfriend popped open her trunk. It was the picture off the wall in her house. I could tell you so many amazing stories. Yes. And all I was saying to you is I connect with Gino because he's a man to me with growth. He was trying to tell this man that, listen, you got your wife. She's a good woman. Like, recognize that, protect her, but still tell her and acknowledge her piece in this business and, all of that. So I did connect with the scene. Dadon, thank you for the super chat. That's what I told you today, Diva. Own it. That's that part right there, right? Own your mess. Because listen, we all make mistakes. And if you saw the interview I did with the Duncans from Love and Marriage DC, one thing I appreciate about Alfred is his name, but they call him Black. He said, listen, I hurt a lot of females in my life. And I acknowledge that, and I'm sorry for that. But you know, this one right here, talking about his wife now, Sherelle, she's the one for me. But when you can get a man that can acknowledge, you know what, I messed up. I jacked up some females out there. It's a big grown person thing to do. So we'll go around and talk about this scene. I'll start at the bottom this time. Nola Reeves, welcome into the building. What would you like to say about this scene with Gino and Marcel? What are your thoughts?
Hey, thank you. Thank you for letting me up, my love. You know, I enjoy it every time I
Oh,
come over here.
thank you for coming.
I wanted to say while I appreciated everything that Gino was saying,
Uh-huh.
um, I don't believe that Marceau believed any of it. And here's why.
Okay.
For me, he give bargain basement excuses. Him
Ooh,
sitting up there with I'm the protector, this, that, and the third, but his
Mm,
wife protects him more than he protects her.
mm,
facts.
You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? He want to talk about provider, but she's the provider of that household. According to his words, that business was in the red until she came and bought it in the black.
That's facts.
Then she's
Oh, talk
working
to us.
Then she's working her own jobs. Then she's bringing children to school. She's picking children up from school. She's preparing the dinner. She's doing the homework. She's the one when they're having an emotional breakdown issue or whatever's going on in their day. She's doing that. And then on top of that, she sits up here and you can tell by her demeanor. And sometimes she lets it slip, like last season when she was talking to Tisha, to Miami Reese and Kiki, and not Kiki, Kimmy, all these K names be whatever. And she said, I'm tired of the way he talks to me. That's
Mm,
something that she feels. But you know what? She sit up there and say, The Lord sent me my husband and I'ma work with it. So even in that moment when she knows she looks like a fool for how you treat her, she's protecting you. And you talking about protecting, you don't protect her when even if you plan into rumors for the TV show or whatever to have this bad guy persona, and you do that in front of your wife when people ask you, are you cheating, and you're cheating with big women, and you say, oh no, I don't mess with big women, but you leaving out the fat linebackers is what he said. I don't mess with linebackers, and you did this on Mother's Day. That was not protecting her. So don't sit up here and tell me about protecting and providing when really she's providing what you need for that company to thrive and grow, and she's providing everything. You're not providing her with anything but emotional distress. So to rinse and repeat what Gino said to Tisha, you didn't get it. You knew those words sound good and you know exactly what to say to her to make her feel like you're changing and we can do better. I want to be better. You be better. What does she need to be better about? Because at this point, I feel like, girl, don't give him nothing. Make him start giving to you. He wants to label himself as a protector and provider, then make him start protecting and providing for you. Not just in a financial sense, but provide stability for your emotional peace. Stop gaslighting her. Stop playing to people in the public about you cheating on her. That's also protecting her. Even if you was cheating, you don't get out here and make no fool out of your wife and then want to say you are her protector. No, you are her enemy. You are her bullier. You are bullying your wife into submission. So don't sit up here and say you are a protector and provider. I'm sorry. It was bullcrap to me.
ooh, child. Well, okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Nola Reeves. Okay. Did y'all catch that? All right.
And
Based
I concur.
Yes,
Leo
and
agrees.
yeah,
and I agree 999.999%.
And I agree.
Go ahead, girl.
that's funny, Shy.
Ooh, bullying your wife into submission. Woo, what a word. I'm trying to tell y'all, okay? I hope y'all caught that. All right. Well, boom, drop the mic. Cheryl, you have any thoughts on this Marcel Gino
He's a
scene?
misogynist. He's a misogynist, male chauvinist. But LaTisha, the only way a person can treat you that way is if you allow it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you sit by and allow it, then he's going to continue to treat you that way. When
Mm-hmm.
is she going to get a backbone to stand up?
Well, she's doing better.
I mean, she got to do way better than what she's doing. Everything that Marcel say, she go along with. You know, despite him kicking her out the company and all this other stuff. You know, when is she going to stand up and say, "You're not going to treat me that way. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to go out and work. I'm going to do. I'm going to have my freedom. I'm going to have my voice." When is she going to do that? When? When?
Ooh, well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, and we'll talk more about it when we get to that last scene. I don't. Somebody said that her name in the chat. I don't know this for sure. I'm just telling you what someone said in the chat, that her name is not even on the business. So maybe they're just using it as a storyline. But I will say this: when we see her try to handle this Black Expo, we'll get more into it when I get there. But I'm just saying she is missing a lot of key points, and this was just for an expo. So I'm not quite sure what she can possibly be doing for Black in this other business, but we'll talk when we get there. Emmanuel, what are your thoughts on Marcel and Gino?
Well, I like Gino. I like the fact that he's bringing some like big business thinking into the company. I think that's going to be very beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
I also got to say, I got my problems with Marceau, but I kind of see where he's coming from
Mm-hmm.
because, all right, y'all, I'm not married, so everybody in the comments, whatever. I do think that there's something to, after a long day of work, coming home to your spouse, to your wife, and or the wife or the husband, or vice versa. So I do think it must be challenging that you are, now coming together not just as the marriage but also work.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's challenging. So I kind of see why he would have, some shows with that.
So you are correct, right? Then now there are some couples that they work together because they met at work, right? But you definitely, when you come home, you want to kind of debrief. And if y'all was together all day at work, and now you're coming home together, and now y'all got work problems, and you're kind of mixing the whole thing together, it could be a bit much. Do you know what I mean? It could be a bit
Right.
much. You got to learn how to navigate that situation and when to turn off work and go into, okay, now we're husband and wife, after you kind of settle the kids down and deal with y'all two, like have your moments together. And then sometimes in the midst of that too, you need your moment alone. So it's a lot. Adele, what are your thoughts?
No thoughts. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Angel Eyes, what are your thoughts?
Well, I do agree with the first caller, 99.9%, but I also agree with the gentleman when he said that there is a balance that you need to set. Coming home, you don't want to bring work home. And so on that level, I can understand Marcel's thinking, but still, um the way how I look at it is they both need a lot of growing up. But there's one question I do have to ask, and that is with the women. It seems as if the majority of the women that are married to the Scott brothers have actually swallowed the same water, except for Mel, is that they are so submissive and passive to the point that they are being, taken advantage of, either emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
financially, or physically, and they don't have a voice. And now here it is, when Mel does have a voice and she stands up for herself, now everyone is like a little irritated by her actions, even though, so I don't know. It's a mix. I don't know.
I
But it's just
connect
something to.
with you, Angel Eyes, but let me say this, and maybe we'll have a different show just on that situation. But I don't know. I got to tread lightly on that because we was over there at Sherelle's World, and maybe I'll just leave her with those conversations and go over there with those conversations. But the thing I think that people are missing, I don't think anybody's upset with Mel. I think that when it comes to Mel and Martell, it's the one therapist came up on Sherelle's World and said it best. No matter what the relationship is, it could be you and your girlfriends, you in whatever group you in, whatever. When a demise happens, everybody owns a piece of that demise. And even if maybe your ownership is 1% and the other person is 99%, it's still two people. And those two people own something in what is going well, and they own something when it all goes bad, right? If I am a person that just allows my mate to do whatever, then I have an ownership in that, right? If whatever it is that you do, if every night you stay out late and I never say anything, and then when you even talk to me about where you are and I just go ahead and let it go, and I do that for 365 days. If you go to experts, you know what they tell you? It takes 30 days at least to form a habit. What do you think 365 days is going to do? So
Yeah.
back in the day when they did all of those infomercials, like, now with the streaming and stuff, you don't get to see a lot of commercials depending upon, how you watch what you watch. But do you remember like all of those like P90X, like these exercise videos, or even different like, George Foreman or whatever? Try it for 30 days. And if you don't like it, you send it back and get all your money back. You know what they know? They know that people are not even going to be consistent to try to use it for 30 days. And the person's going to feel guilty. And 9.9 times out of 10, even if the person had it sitting there, never took it out the box or let it collect dust, they won't send it back.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying to you is that we got to acknowledge whether the thing is a good thing or a bad thing. You teaching people how to treat you. If
Exactly.
right? So if every day you and I have a conversation and you allow me to just talk to you any old kind of way, at one point you may get upset and be like, okay, I had enough. But then I'm going to be looking at you sideways. Well, I've been speaking to you like this the whole time. Like, what's the problem now?
Yeah. And so therefore that is my point. The same situation that you're saying, is happening with Mel, because Mel allowed Martell to do whatever, go and come back, go and come back, go and come back. And so now this time she said, no, there ain't no coming back. He's upset. But then here it is, homegirl is the same way. She allowed Marsau to continuously drown her out of the business, but use her, to you know, push him forward, or to cleanse the business, quote unquote, with her name on the business or not. But now, whenever it is that she is trying to assert herself in the business, hold on, wait a minute, know your role, shut down, hey, back up. So it is like, you really cannot expect for him to automatically allow you to know all the runnings of the business, if the only thing you did was say yes master, no master, yes master, no master. And now all of a sudden you realize, because, oh yeah, the fans are now getting on you for being a yes woman. Now you want to like kind of stand up and try and have a backbone. Now it ain't gonna work. At least
Yeah,
not now. It is
yeah,
gonna cause friction.
it's gonna cause
They say
friction.
bend the tree whilst it's young. That tree then grown, you gonna break a limb.
All right, now, in my opinion, your thoughts on Marcel and Gino?
I agree with Nola Reese, but let me tell you something, okay? First of all, here's my takes on Tisha. Tisha has been programmed by Mama Wanda
Mm,
that any piece of a man is better than no man at all. And by that training, she's trying to get her way out of it. And it may take her a while to know that, hey, she deserves better. Or you deserve to be treated better. I'm just going to keep on praying that our good sis get it, okay? And know her worth, because she ain't yet figured out her worth yet.
Oh, well, congratulations, Serena Williams. She's expecting baby number 2.
Oh,
Oh, thank you for that information, Black Panthers. That is wonderful. I like her and her husband together. I will also say this, because he did say he knew LaTisha for 30 days. LaTisha for 30 days. I don't even really have a problem with that because I think sometimes you never know a person till you know them. Like, you could have been with the person for 2 years and still might not have seen everything you needed to see. You sometimes you got to roll the dice and take your chances. But the thing is, I think she's used as a sacrificial lamb. So every storyline that they do, it's against her pretty much, right? Because regardless with this Gino, you didn't want her to put her degree up, but he gets to put his degree up. It's like she's always the punching bag, in some way, shape, or form. E, what are your thoughts on this scene?
So before I get into the scene with Marsau and the temp,
You said
I don't want to give Mel too much credit. Because someone said, well, the Tisha is submissive and, Mel, she's not submissive anymore. This and that. We're not going to give Mel too much credit because Mel was on TV throwing this man in our face and to these other couples. And he was having an affair for the last 5 years and let her tell it. She knew about it the last 3. So that seemed pretty submissive to me. Mm-hmm. Letting some crippled man who cannot walk on his own 2 feet crawl on the floor in your bathroom so that he could text his mistress because he is temporarily disabled and he cannot walk, that is submissive. Mel is no better than Tisha or Kimmi. The only reason she left is because there was a new baby Hope walking this God's green earth, and her pride, that's what that is. Her pride wouldn't allow her to stand up and be the stepmommy she already was. She didn't leave because she was fed up and she wanted to. It's a difference.
But then that's my point. That's my point. They all seem to be programmed to be followed after the Scott. And like you, and after what you, yeah, and after what you made the point, the only reason why she left, but you clarified my point, was because of the baby. Outside of that, she still would have been taking him back, taking him back, taking him back, taking him back.
I agree with you, 10,000%. Now, about this scene with Marsau and the temp, Marsau is just like Martell, and I was thinking about it. All of these men are walking red flags, and just follow me. Marsau fantasizes over other Black men with milder temperaments, and he builds a bromance and an emotional connection with these men, which trumps, this is the dangerous part, it trumps the connection he shares with his own wife, who he sleeps with every night, or allegedly. I sat there and listened to him, and he was saying things like, I'm so excited over this partnership, and we have like ideas and vision, and we have a complementary relationship, and he is strong where I am weak. All of those things that he said to describe the temp sounds like he wants to get married to Gino. If you ask me, those are qualities you would seek in a husband or a wife. I've never heard him describe Tisha in that way. And even Gino picked up on it, because in this scene, Gino took the words out of my mouth and told Marsau their business relationship is so close, it's like they're dating. Did you all hear that? Mm-hmm. And did you catch it when Gino also said he wouldn't marry Marsau if he treated him the way he treats Tisha? That's what Marsau found embarrassing. If you ask me, you have to, come on, follow me. Your woman crush Wednesday just told you that she wouldn't marry you if you treated her the same way you treat your current wife. That hit Marsau like a ton of bricks, because Marsau thought he had it going on, if you ask him. So this is the second time in 2 weeks where a man has said this to Marsau, that the way he treats Tisha is less than ideal. And both men are very dear to him. Number one, his son. And number 2, Gino, his work husband. I'm telling you, just as sure as today is March 1st, Marsau doesn't like women. He doesn't know how to like women because he doesn't
No.
know how to build a relationship with a woman that he sees every day. And I'm curious as to know what his relationship is like with his own daughter. He doesn't like Tisha. He doesn't like his mother in law. And
Mm-hmm.
he is only with Tisha because of those kids. Wanting a woman to give you kids is not the same thing as wanting a woman. He needed Tisha to cook and to clean and to raise those kids and to put her good credit on the line to run his business. But he doesn't like Tisha, and it's plain to see. He likes Get 'em Gino, the temp. And you can see the difference. Open your eyes.
You said the temp. I
Yep.
cannot. Listen, you know what? I think all the men on the show are the same. They're just different levels of the same. I think all the females on the show are the same. They're just
Exactly.
different levels of the same, right? So because Martell and Melody have almost similar relationship as Marceau and Tisa, it's just different levels of it. So I and it's funny how all of those energies came together, for this show. It's very interesting to me. But they all kind of Kimmi is definitely she listen, Maurice is running that household.
Hmm.
It couldn't be me, but you know what?
Running amok in the palace.
That part. That part. Leo, what are your thoughts?
I'ma say it again. This show gets up under my skin because the patriarchy is running rampant up in there. I
Mm.
mean, all these men with all this alpha energy, with all this masculine, toxicity, they still come through and hold it. They don't. Okay, Marcel, don't pay attention to how hard, well, I'll say this, how condescending he is with his wife. It took two men to tell him, his own son and his bromance, to tell him that he don't treat his wife with respect and decency. He may not be outwardly, he gaslights, he may not be outwardly abusive, at least not on camera with ugly words and raising his voice, but he's being manipulative with her. But I like the part about, I do believe with this platform, Marceau may have uh, uh, um, cut itself short on this one, because I do believe that through her relationship with her fans, people that watch the show, all of us who say, "Look, girl, you raised him to treat you this way. You actually trained him. It's about time for you to change your training." And the thought is on her mind that she has put up with way too much with Marcel. And I'm
100%.
not talking about the cheating. I'm just talking about the verbal treatment and
Yes.
the mind melt and the manipulation that he does to this girl. But I like Gino. He told him some good words. Now he told him some good words, but I do not. But I think it will stay in Marcel's brain,
Mhm.
but hopefully when she sees this scene, Tisha, I hope she keep working it. She need to work it.
She need to put in the work. You know what the thing about why he doesn't have to yell, Marcel? Because he knows he got Tisa wrapped around his finger, right? And he knows how to play with the words. And he's always very calm. If you go back to every discussion they had, he's never like yelling and screaming at her, but he's very calm. And by the time he finished flipping his words around, no matter how emotional she is, she ends up agreeing with him. He knows, like, listen, that man need to write the book on gaslighting 101. He could do part 2 and part 3. Okay. He always said,
And those are the worst.
those are the
Thank
worst.
God I ain't never had one, but
That
those
part.
are the worst.
Those are worse because even when it came to the cheating allegations, he said, "You gonna believe the streets or your husband?" But it was the way he said it and he talked to her. And like I said, he used the words where by the time he finished talking, she was like, "You're right." He said, "You can't listen to them. It's about us." He knows how to get that thing and use those words, and he always did, and he always will. I don't know, like how far away are they close in age, those two? I don't know, but she also, you're talking about coming from a relationship with Miss Wanda, and I want to say, did she? I don't know how long Miss Wanda and her husband was together. Well, matter of fact, according to Miss Wanda, they still together, right? I don't know, but my thing is about Miss Wanda and the husband, whatever. I think that sometimes some people, when they come from a situation where their parents didn't stay together, sometimes they use that guilt in their head to really work even harder, no matter how crazy their relationship is, to not go through that same situation in their life. So they will hang on to the man until the moment, to the bitter end for their life. Dustin, you said, can you come out? Can you come up? The stage, we're full house right now. We're full house. I'm so sorry. You got 10 people on the panel, so we're full house. Robin, I'm gonna let you speak, but let me back up. Someone mentioned something. They're going back to the court papers that we discussed on Sherelle's show, right? So what I want to say is I want to reserve that conversation for Sherelle's world. I believe she's going to do another part to that. I didn't see the court papers. I don't need to actually necessarily see them, because my standpoint that I have with those court papers or without the court papers is that when you have a child, and even when I was growing up in my family, they call it like, oh, you want to be grown and have sex and now you had a baby. Well, you got to grow up. Whether you're 16, 17, 18, 22, whatever, you had that baby. Now you got to grow up. So once you have a family, no matter what your age is, you're going to have to put your thing in on the fast lane, and you got to grow up, because now you got another child, another human being that you need to take care of in this world. So you have to figure out your way and figure out your life when it comes to those situations. Tisa needs to show him just a little bit of Angela Bassett waiting to excel, and Marcel will fall in love with her. He's just not used to that energy. He's not.
Come on, Dadon.
He's not. Okay, Robin, it's your turn. Dadon, thank you for the super chat. Truly appreciate it.
Sorry,
Go ahead,
Diva, I didn't want to interrupt you. I don't want to interrupt you. I can go down so it doesn't come up, because this writer is not prepared today.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Thank you. That was cute. No problem. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
I'm listening. I'm still listening. But
Okay, I know you are. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. Robin, what are your thoughts?
Well, like I said, I think that Gino played a very significant purpose here. I think that the biggest thing for me, and it's kind of on the messier side, but very truthfully, first and foremost, he brought maturity to the table. He brought enlightenment to the table. And he also brought business to the business.
That part.
The fact that he had to tell him you need a check and balance, that tells me that they've been playing house with their business all along. They've been doing play. That, oh Jesus. I just got the impression that this was really Gino exposing Marsau for more than just having shoddy business practices, but also about how he relates to his wife. And I don't buy the thing that he's protecting her. I think he's protecting himself, because based on something as simple as we need checks and balances in his business, tells me that Marsau didn't tell Tisha a lot, that he kept a lot of the business from her. And he did it because he has a level of insecurity that he doesn't know how to relate, and he won't, and he doesn't want to show it. What I said earlier, excuse me.
You okay?
Any vulnerability, and that's problematic. But I like Gino. I think Gino's good for the business. But I also don't believe that Marsau is going to think past what he's been told, because he's been operating this way all this time. And I don't know how many 30 days it's going to take for him to change his habits.
Yeah, that part, right? All right. Hey, Dustin, you was trying to get in the building. What you trying to tell us?
I'm new to this, so you can go on and tell me what's going on. I'm new to this show.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll move on to the next scene here. So actually, I'm gonna call out the rest of the scenes, and then I'll do our rounds, and we'll talk about all of them. Kimmi brought over Mel and Tisa so they could kind of kiss and make up. In that scene, Mel was kind of reminding me of Candy. She brought her food, honey, and she was sitting there eating her food, and they had a session. It was what it was. I think they hugged it out for the screen. I didn't feel much love in the room in that particular scene. It was what it was. Then we had the scene with Martell and Tisa, and he pretty much gave her like he had his insight from Gino, and he was going to do better because he loves her. Now listen, just because we see these dynamics between couples don't mean they don't love each other. People love the only way they know how. Okay, and that's why how he's loving his wife the way that he knows how, right? Because he went through a lot of family dynamics himself. I would love to see their mom and the dad and learn a little more about that. Well, we saw the dad, but I would like to, hear a little bit more from the dad and the mom. So this is not the first time Marcel have been told that he has not changed and will not change. Marcel has not told Tisa that him and Martell are still in business since 2020, since March 2023. I hear you. Thank you for that, Marsha. Okay, so we have that. And then we got to get back to the closeout scene. Honey, she calling it the Black Expo, but all it is the comeback group repurposed, okay, with a different name on it. And thank you for paying your fare. Hit that like button, people. That's your fare on this train. So, Tisa is presenting the Black Expo. And this is where Mel stands out above the rest, hands down. This I will never, ever, ever take away from Mel. She's young. She's a boss. She's about that business. Mm-hmm. She knows how to get things done. She held her family down when she was with Martell, and she was definitely the backbone to everything that they ever did. And she is the backbone for her own life right now and everything that she is doing. Now, when it comes to that, that's why I question in this particular scene, I question in my head, well, is Tisa really the backbone of Black, the backbone of this construction business and everything else? Is she really a boss like she's saying she is? I don't think so, because when you can't even articulate yourself and present yourself for your project, the Black Expo, it had me sitting up, saying to myself, Mel asked her, what's your budget? I ain't have a budget. Well, are you paying the presenters? Nah, I don't. We wasn't planning on to. Well, who's paying for the room? We are. They had no real plan put in place. All she know is that she wanted these people to come speak for free, and speak for free for what? For how? What are you doing here?
We're still waiting to hear.
Yeah, we're still waiting to hear. You had the nerve to have some presentation on the screen there that didn't have none of the details. And the picture you put up there was you and your husband. And like Kimmi even said, well, this looked like it's about y'all two. Mm-hmm. Okay, because that's the picture that's up there. So if you're thinking, yeah, they thought they were dummies. And Mel said, listen, I'm not telling you my fee, and that's business. That's facts, right? I'm not going to sit up here and just tell you my fee in this meeting so then everybody could run off of my fee and ask for the same thing. I'm not saying that's the reason why she didn't say that, but I'm just saying, right? And she said, listen, I get paid for posts. I get paid. She's not diminishing her value. If you want me, you have to pay for me, and you got to bring some organization to this stuff. And she asked a very good question. If you got a sponsor that's paying $100,000, well, how much you gonna be paying us? And how much is the venue? You just gonna have it for free? You can give me a second, Dustin. I'm coming to you. I just want to get this thing out. So on that note alone, I started to question. Is she really doing anything for Black or whatever? And you know who we haven't seen yet this season? What is Kimmi's son name?
Jalen.
Where's Jalen? Is Jalen still working at Black? What is going on? But those are my thoughts on that. I'm giving Tisa the side eye now because I'm not quite sure what she's running when she
don't
didn't
know.
present this Black Expo too well. So Dustin, I know you wanted to speak. I'll come down to you and I'll work my way up. And we're going to talk about these last 3 scenes. So give your commentary on that. You can give your final word because we're closing out after that. So Dustin, what are your thoughts?
Do you think that Martell's going to be on another season? I don't think he's going to be on another season. I think it'll be this final season. The way people are going on about it.
No, I don't think. I'm as long as Love and Marriage Huntsville is on the air, Martell will be on there, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm not talking because I don't want anybody to take this all off the track here. I'm not talking about in a romantic way. I'm talking about just in a friendship way. Carlos King has really connected with Martell Holt. As a man, he feels for everything that he's going through. If you saw the last reunion when Carlos King broke down and he tried to get Martell, tell the truth. You missed your family. You missed Melanie. And when Melanie was crying and Carlos King was crying and Martell had a tear in his eye, I don't want to go off the track to say whether we believe them, don't believe Martell or whatever. All I'm saying is that Carlos King, he really feels for Martell. If Carlos King can get Melody to take Martell back, Carlos King would love that. So the answer to your question is, as long as that show is on the air, he's going to make sure that Martell Holt gets a check from Love and Marriage.
Did you see before the show even started, Martell was doing a lot of stuff and he didn't agree with it, and he said, "If you don't start changing, you're not going to have a check."
Yeah, but he said that, but once he came to know him and he fell in love with him, things changed. Love make us do crazy things. Period, point blank.
Yeah, I know that. But that's what I was going to say. I was wanting your opinion on that. If you thought if he was going to get kicked off of the show since he was doing all that crazy stuff at the beginning, but maybe not.
Yeah, Ella. Carlos said he is the past. He is past trying to get them together. LL. Yeah, Carlos is saying that, but I think, like I said, how sometimes you just have people you connect to. I think Carlos King just really here's the thing too, right? We see what we see on TV, and
yeah, but you don't see what happens behind closed doors though.
That part, Dustin.
But you see what they want you. They only see what they want you to see, though. They don't want you to see what's behind closed doors.
That part, Dustin. And every reality star that I ever interviewed, they all say sometimes they piece stuff together and it's not even in the order that it really happened.
Sometimes it's not even what's happening behind closed doors.
Right. 100%. It's not even, they don't even show, because they said with the Candy show, Candy said it on her Speak On It that things that happened didn't happen in the order that they showed it on that they did.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I seen that the Speak On It.
Yeah.
And I heard what she said. So that didn't happen the way that they wanted it. It just happened the way they planned it.
Right, exactly. And she also said that one meeting, LaTisha was actually on a Zoom and they didn't even show that piece to us. So,
see they only show what they want you to see.
That part. So I feel like, and listen, if you ever watch a documentary on some of these serial killers, because we can't say certain words on YouTube.
Yeah, I watch the documentary.
They go speak to their friends, the neighbors, or whatever. Some of them are in complete and utter shock because who they were as a neighbor was not who they was in the streets. So for all we know, Carlos King sees that other side of Martell that we don't get to see. And that's part of his connection to him. Nola Reeves, what are your thoughts?
Can I ask you this?
Sure.
How many episodes are we in? Because I'm like I said, I'm very new, so I gotta get caught up on this.
I think this was episode. Is it already at 4 this season or 3?
We have 4.
4.
Episode 4.
We're episode 4 because it's 604 was the number. Yeah, episode 4, season 6.
Is it like every week? Every week?
Yeah,
Every
every
Wednesday?
Saturday night it come. Well, for
Every
me,
Saturday.
every
Okay.
Saturday night at 8 p.m. on the
Okay.
old channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. You're gonna catch up and join us in the conversation. Nola Reeds, your final words and your thoughts on these scenes. Nola, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was on mute. I was I was trying to get to my computer to click it. Um, I'm gonna say this. I don't feel like she should have went to anybody with this expo. And I say that because if you don't want to pay them, and I'm not just speaking on Mel, you have people out here who will come to stuff to see Kimmy, who will come to see Maurice, who will come to see Martell, and who will come to see Mel. So when you're getting sponsorships and you're getting vendors for people to make money, you're going to charge vendors for that. You
Mm-hmm.
are banking on these people participating in that. So no, you don't want to pay them. But with to me, when you're saying, well, be involved as much or as little as you want, as much means you want them to financially help y'all, but y'all don't want them to pay y'all. Y'all don't want to pay them, but you want to gain off of their name. You're using their names to promote this. And I'm not just speaking on Mel, I'm speaking on all of them. Whether you like them or dislike them, you have people who don't like these people who will show up just to say something to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's bringing people to an event. You have people who love these people who will show up because they love them. So you don't get to capitalize off of these people' name and then say, "But I'm not going to pay you for it." So you're going to put money in your pocket off of using my name, and I don't benefit for it. There's no way.
That part.
There's absolutely no way. Now, when it comes to Mel, because I saw a lot of people saying that, oh, Mel wrong, she being petty, she being this, she being that. I'm gonna say this: you don't get to sit up here and call me a black soul in a wolf in sheep clothing and think I'm gonna come work for you for free down to your expo.
Facts.
You don't get you don't get to do that to me. You don't get to sit up here and take your husband's strategy and play in my face and play on words talking about, well, Mel and my mom was wrong because she spoke on my daddy. Listen, by the time Mel spoke on your daddy, your mama had made 350 million lies about this lady, calling this lady everything but a child of God and insinuating that she was the whore of Huntsville.
Oh my God.
So
Hmm.
we're not gonna act like that's the same. So you don't do that. But far as I'm concerned, I feel like this was a draw to try to draw people back into the idea of the original six. But the fact of the matter is, I don't want to see them do business together. It never works. They don't like each other. Like, it's not even to the point where they are associates. These people are co-workers.
Yeah.
Down to Maurice, and now Maurice and his brother have a relationship, but I don't believe Kimmy and Tisha are as close as what they try to portray on the show. The fact of the matter is, don't none of these people like each other, not even the men, but they all was DDBs, do dirt bros. And so now we have to save face so we don't tell on each other. But your body language stay telling on each other.
Mm.
They all
They always
take
say,
pops, they
well,
all take pop shots at each other, including the brothers. So none of these people really like each other. So and they barely can tolerate each other. So for me, in order to have a successful business venture, I don't have to like you to make money with you. But I do have to be able to tolerate you, and there has to be some level of respect for what each person bring to the table. And there's no level of respect among them. They have lost that. So to me, I don't see a business venture working. Now, if they could somehow tolerate each other, I think the women getting together would be an awesome thing. Like when Tisha did the period party, I think that would be a good thing. She stated that she have journals, her girls have nail polish lines, Mel have a face care line, Kimmy can teach girls how to do breast checks at an early age, stuff from young. Stormy can come with her hair products. I think that would be an awesome idea for them to do together and educate young girls and provide them with the products that they have. I think that would be a great business idea if they could actually work together, but they
And
can't.
you need a program though, right? She had no program, she had no structure. To say that you can participate as much or as little as you want, then that means you have no program in place. What is your objective here? You need to have a program, and the program should have said that, you know what, bring your products, like you said, and we're going to set up a table with your products. And then what you're going to do is, I'm going to have each one of y'all come and do maybe a 5 or 10 minutes. You're going to have a speaking moment.
Well,
And that is going to be, you know, you're going to make money from it. Now, if I get some sponsors, you are going to have to say, you know, some way, somehow, if you do get some sponsors after you pay the bill for the facility, whatever facility you're going to use. I mean, we're promoting what right now? She had no structure, no program. She had nothing. All she had was an idea saying Black Expo. But see, if you remember again, if you watch from the beginning, Mel always said, y'all want to be me, in an indirect way, right? Because I do something, you do something, but see, you can't execute it because you don't know what you're doing. You're just copying.
well, so first of all, if we look up the definition of an expo, what she was proposing was not an expo. It
Right,
was a career day for adults.
right.
Right? There's a difference between the expo and a career day. And that's what she was ultimately offering, a career day. Furthermore, there was no business plan, which is why all of those people were there, because she hadn't thought about sponsors until Mel said about sponsors. She
Right.
hadn't thought about things until Kimmy said certain things. She was like, well, we got it out. So once again, you are still using this group of people for your agenda. It gave Scam Likely. If you don't participate in the expo, that's cool, but we set up here and have this meeting and we got y'all ideas.
Yeah, she's still not, it doesn't matter. You know, when you give somebody that's confused and unorganized ideas, they still not going to know how to pull it off. So you can throw them the whole
But they
blueprint
did
all day
it.
long. Huh?
But she did it. They did it down to the black. I believe it was in March. She posted some pictures. So they did it.
They did it, but how successful what is, we're going to have to see on the
You
show.
know,
Like,
I mean, they
hopefully.
did it. And my thing is this, I'm an equal opportunity dragger. I drag all of them, including Mel. You know, it's I can like you if you did something right this episode, and if you did something wrong, you just did something wrong. I don't care who it is. I'm equal opportunity for everybody. I just really, for me, I want these adults to start acting like adults. And that's across the board. Um and I want them all to be successful in what they do. And the fact of the matter is, y'all are not a group of people who can cohesively work together and bring your strengths together and capitalize off of what everybody brings to the table, because it's y'all come with a spirit of competition. Well, I have this many businesses and I have this many businesses and I get this to be spoken to. Like, why was it an issue about what Mel makes when Martell, you went out and said you wanted to be paid $3,000 for an interview? So why is it an issue because she's getting money off of speaking engagements? I'm pretty sure all of y'all get paid off of speaking engagements.
Yeah,
But
I
it
think though
becomes a
with
it
that,
becomes a who everybody here wants to be the it factor of this show. And for me, the show is what it is because this group of dysfunctional people, this group of six core dysfunctional people captures our interest, whether it makes us mad or it's not. And I want them to understand that this show has the following that it has because of the six. Whether you are rooting for your person against this other person, you like when your person shade that person, whatever. It's the six, not
right.
one individual.
No, I agree with that. I think though, but see, and I wonder, I was shocked too because there's a big Black Expo that always happens in like New York City. It usually happens sometime in the summer, but it's all like vendors and stuff like that. I just think that she always comes up with these great ideas, but she doesn't know how to execute them. And then if it wasn't for the input of Melanie, then the ideas would just be the all over the place. I'm glad they had the event. And sometimes you do have to throw events and you have to grow from your, your mistakes and all of that. And I do personally wish that they would get it back together. When I first started watching the show, I was in love with the idea of the comeback group. It just never produced anything. So I wish that people would learn that we're better and greater together than we are separately. And so, and they all are in a pissing match. But again, if you watch from the beginning, and I like Mel a lot, right? But if you watch in the beginning, Mel and Martell, they was the power couple puffing their chests, that they had the upper hand when the show first started. So similar things that are going on now on the other side of the coin. It used to happen with Mel and Martell because they came when all of the others wanted to kind of work out the comeback group. Mel and Martell was like, we're done. But Emmanuel, really quickly, I'm like way past my time. What are your thoughts?
Okay, just a quick rundown. I thought that scene with Marsau and Tisha, I thought it was really nice. Whether it was, sincere or not, I liked the fact that she got happy hearing him say that,
Right.
The scene with the three women, it felt so forced. There was really no chemistry. But you
Right.
know what? If you bring some food, I don't care. I'm gonna be talking to you and be happy. As far as the last scene, Tisha, I like you, but you get an F on your PowerPoint
That
presentation.
part.
She had no structure. We needed to be organized. We
Mm,
needed clarity. We
mm,
needed a vision. Like, you should have came in ready. These are going to be our sponsor. This is going to be our mission statement. This is what we're trying to get out. This is the food we're going to be giving. Just all the little details should have been figured out. This was just basically her brainstorming ideas.
mhm.
And I got to give it up to, in that scene, not to Mel, but to Kimmi, because Kimmi was the one that was like, wait a minute, what are we cheering to? Like, what's going on?
She
So
sure did.
yeah,
Sure did.
either
She sure
either
did.
so what I got out of it is that either Tisha is a little bit slow with her ideas,
Mhm.
or she wanted it to be a Tisha and Marsau with friends event.
Mm.
So
She was just, you know what? I don't even know if it was so much sinister. I know it was very unorganized, and I do know that they didn't want to pay the people, and
mhm.
she wanted to use their likeness and name, because she knew that would draw like a bigger crowd. But again, your husband, she showed her husband allegedly, remember, because when they was in the room together, the presentation, before she did it. So what did he add into it? Maybe they should have got Gino to help them do the blueprint of it before they did it. But anywho, Robin, I'm gonna go to you.
Well, I don't believe that. Well, first of all, that was a horrific scene. If I cared enough and if I really liked these people, I would be embarrassed for her,
Mm-hmm.
LaTisha. Excuse me. Ooh, I don't know what's happening.
Oh,
Excuse me. The fact that she pulled people together, it was just like, let's just sit in a room, because even the PowerPoint from to me was fugazi, because if it's something that I prepared, I
mm-hmm.
know my material. I'm not going to have to read
Facts.
the slide. So I was
Facts.
like, did Carlos and them do this for you? This just some filler stuff? And also, and y'all, and I don't mean anybody in particular, but y'all like to talk about how smart she is and how educated she is. I keep telling y'all, she trained, but she ain't educated. If she was educated, she would be able to have a through line. She would be able to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. She didn't have any of that. And to be at her big age, no, she couldn't even articulate what the expo was. And I don't know who was that earlier who said it was a career fair for adults. Thank you, because at least you were able to figure something out. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't. Diva, earlier you mentioned I heard the same person somewhere on the internet over the weekend claiming that Tisha was not an officer in the company.
Mm-hmm.
And I did go on LinkedIn. I did get a chance to look at like Manta, but on LinkedIn it does have a pictures. It's a fully built out website for Schultz Industries Inc.
Nice.
It features a picture of Marsau
Okay.
as president. It
Mm,
has Tisha as construction operations. This
mm-hmm.
other woman, Lindsay Neal, as business development manager.
Okay.
The They have offices in Alabama and Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, I've only been able to glean that there are 9 total employees. So unless this is a big Fugazi ruse, this company is legit, and they do have at least our titular heads at minimum. And the last thing I'll say is they got to do better. I mean, the idea, it was almost exciting that they might have been going back, but you're right. They should have had Gino at this meeting, and
Mhm.
Gino need to sit down and, well, no, I was going to say Gino needs to talk to Tisha. He might light a spark under her and make her be the hasty retreat.
Mhm.
But she needs somebody who is at least even-minded, who is moderately neutral,
Mhm.
but forward thinking, to at least have a conversation, because I don't believe that she has even a conversation with Marsau based on what we see on the TV
Mhm.
about the business itself, and she is a bit player. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you. Obi said for Tisa to have obtained her degrees, did she have to do presentations at some point? Something in the milk ain't clean. Yeah, well, it depends on where you're doing your schooling at, but I don't want to go there because I want to get
Right, go to Chiro College.
Leo, what are your thoughts? Your final thoughts?
I was just same thing, embarrassed with the whole scene because I had such high hopes for her. Hopefully, if Tisha see this and she see this play out on TV, girl, do like everybody else do. Do your Googles. I mean, if the only guidance you got is Marsau on how to run business, and you've been knowing him for 17 years, nothing didn't spark in your brain that you might have to read something, talk to someone, get some mentors, really give you information and educate you on the endeavor that you are embarking on.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how at your big age you don't know that it takes a team to be able to pull things off. Friends, family, co-workers, people you know in the business, relationships. I mean, if y'all got all that, I just don't understand how this I just don't understand how she just don't know nothing. Mel had to
school her, run it down for her, break it down for her, help her get her life together. But she didn't break out her paper and pad so she could get her life together. Who did I miss?
Angel Eyes. Me.
Okay, Angel Eyes, and then E, and then in my opinion, and then I think Cheryl, and then we're done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Angel Eyes, go. Robin, hold it down for me. I gotta go to potty. I'll hold my water. Thank you. Go ahead, continue, Eyes. I'll be right back.
Okay, well, as far as I'm looking at, yeah, the expo, she really dropped the ball. She dropped the ball. It was just an idea written on paper. There was no structure. There was no planning. There was no history. Like everyone said, she had nothing to offer. And that there was the sad part about it, because here it is. She is trying to show that, hey, I am valuable in the company, and dropped the ball big time. So unfortunately, yeah, I don't know what much to say about her as far as that is concerned, but I I do know that you cannot expect for people to come and use their image, their likeness, and do not give them something, even if it's just $1 on every sponsor.
They acting like they're back in the old NCAA days before they had the NIL agreements. So I think that really what we saw was probably Tisha trying to flex her leadership muscles, but she ain't been to the gym enough. So
no, first of all, she didn't even know where the gym was.
That part.
Because you had nothing there. Okay, see, guess what? It is one thing to have something and probably had it mislabeled, or probably had them out of order, or probably didn't have enough information, but you had nothing. You had nothing.
If I can just weigh in, the way I see it, if she had just said, I want to have an event that brings together our businesses as well as others to either display our products, to talk about how we do our business. That's really all she needed to say to start out. And then ask for input from the rest of the group. Would have been a whole lot better, because at least she would have shown that she was being inclusive, and she would have not tipped her hand entirely as being not up to the task of leading
And
this.
that, yes, and had she done that, it really would have looked as if, okay, she has a plan. It is just that she, wants to include us all in it, and not her just being the spearhead of it. At least she would have started with something had she said that. But
Mhm.
just to come with a blank something, and and everybody else have to ask her, so what is this? What are we gonna eat? Who are
And
the
I mean,
sponsoring this? Blah 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 blah. Yeah, because what she came to them with was a finished idea, the way that she presented it, but had nothing behind it. So then she started with a blank piece of paper. That's what I saw.
She came for the unfinished idea, actually, because all she had was a name, the
right? She
Black
had
Expo.
Yeah.
with
She
a
had the
tape
Black
recorder
Expo.
under the
Well,
a
we
tape
gotta
recorder
we
under
gotta
the table.
speed this thing up, y'all. I'm at 2 hours. I like somebody said, thank you, Handy B. I did Love and Marriage Huntsville on Sherelle's show today. I'm tapped. I'm tapped. I love y'all, but I'm tapped. In my opinion, your thoughts.
Well, first of all, y'all, since we already got a Black Expo in Alabama, I don't know why she ain't have it together. If y'all look it up, it's the Magic City Black Expo. It's been going on since I think 2002. So yeah, I just think it was really bad planning on her behalf. But then again, she didn't really put much planning into it, because first of all, whenever you present something, and I'm pretty sure she had to take speech in college, because I had to take speech, even though I wasn't going for public speaking. But and I know that you need to face your audience when you're talking to them, like turn your back to them, and you need to know what you're talking about. Hey, you some cue cards if you need to, but you need to address your audience eye to eye, and be professional, because keep in mind they was late. Okay, how you gonna be late to your own event?
That part.
So yeah, I ain't know. I'm through with it.
Thank you. Thank you. E, your final thoughts?
I agree with, in my opinion. But Diva, you said earlier, Carlos connected with Martell as a man.
Yes, he did.
And all I could think about was his hoochie man shorts. Yeah, they're connected all right. Tic tac toe.
Don't start, E. Don't start. It's late in the hour. Go ahead.
Anywho, these last scenes,
Mhm.
Marcel laying in the bed trying to compete with Tisha's ideas about the expo, and really they came up with nothing. But she was talking about her presentation, and he flipped the switch and totally made it all about him being the protector and the provider. Just like Melody and Martell, Marceau is an attention whore. This ain't about you right now. But every time Tisha tries to do, and maybe this is why she can never be successful. Every time she tries to do something for herself, here comes the leeches. Here comes Marceau. Here comes Wanda. Here comes Kiki. I haven't seen Tisha do a damn thing by herself. I don't know. Maybe she did and I missed it. Maybe it happened so fast it was a commercial. I don't know. But me personally, I'm not interested in going to any business expo and seeing Marceau, Tisha, Mel, or Martell. All they do is start businesses. I told y'all this before. They do a money grab and then they start another business the next season, and it's a new pop-up shop. I haven't seen nobody on Forbes. So from a business perspective, why would I waste my time and gas to come see you and you haven't even finished the big house you started yet? Where's that at? Like, do you know how fast construction companies are slapping up these subdivisions and these big old houses and townhouses? And Scope is playing in our faces what they're really doing. That's what they're doing. If 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 I'm a business expo, if I'm going to a business expo with a reality star, I want to hear Candy Burris. I want to see Kendall Jenner, or where's Lisa Vanderpump? Like, I'll even pay to see Stormy, for crying out loud, and Tisha didn't even invite her. That would have been your attention grabber right there.
Or what?
But
Facts.
but
Facts.
But why would I even let somebody give me a free ticket to go and listen to a bunch of folks who can't stay out of court for contractual agreements? Tisha and Marcel, I mean, can't get a builder's license, Martell, and have not been in business for the last 5 years under consistent management. I mean, how many singles has Mel dropped? Has she gone platinum yet? Is Martell's wine being sold in Publix? I mean, come on, what have these people done that will warrant people to come out and listen to them talk about how successful they are? These are vanity projects, is what they are. Life is too short, and we all know 50% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. The only business that I know of that all four of them are involved in, like I said, with consistent leadership from the CEO, COO, chief of staff, and the whole nine, is this reality show. And it's not even theirs, it's Carlos King. So maybe Carlos should host the expo, and Tisha can be the greeter. Marsau and Martell can do the parking, and Melody could be the bartender, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
I'm hearing
Yeah.
you, but I think
Yeah.
I got to go. Cheryl, what are your final thoughts?
Hey, listen. Melody's the millionaire. Martell is the brokenaire. LaTisha need to learn how to spell realty. It's not reality. It's realty. You got three degrees? So at the end of the day, Melody's the more successful one. This lady got business. Sugar Mama got more going on than Martell at this point.
Oh my.
That's just the bottom line. So, breathing is not free. LaTisha should have known that Melody was not going to do anything for free. Nobody's going to do that, do an expo, and you don't have sponsorship, you don't have a budget, and you think somebody's going to do that for free. Nobody's going to be. It's no such thing as free.
Right.
So at the end of the day, she's the only successful one. Martell ain't got nothing going on for herself. Incest wine, Inez wine. I don't know what wine it is, but he's not the successful one. LaTisha's not the successful one. Marsau and Maurice either. So she has proven she has businesses, successful businesses. What successful businesses do they have? And this is she dissolved that group before. She dissolved this comeback group. It should be the Go group. And I think Melody should go. And she wasn't planning on doing any business with LaTisha anyway. She just humored them. She wasn't going to do no business with her. The Black Expo.
Was she there? Because somebody knows about it. Because Gino, am I saying your name right? Rules. She said Stormy was there. Was Melody? Did Melody end up going?
She came but left in 15 minutes. She didn't stay. She came for
she didn't?
15 minutes and then she left. Yeah, she didn't stay.
Really?
Yeah. She did not stay at that expo. She came. She dropped in with her brother Marcus. They stayed for a few minutes, about 15 minutes, and she left.
Wow.
Ain't nobody working for free. Breathing ain't free. Oh, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got.
Okay. Oh, she said it too. Mel came in and walked through.
Yeah, walked through and then she left. She ain't stay.
Oh, all right, guys. Listen, Robin, special thanks to you. Thank you so much for taking over for me several times. Guys, this interview next week, y'all going to enjoy it. I'll talk about it next week. I just got to confirm some things, send some emails, and when I get confirmation, we'll talk about it. All right. But I want to thank you guys. Y'all know Love and Marriage Huntsville is my show. We'll be doing trending topics tomorrow, trending topics Wednesday. Wednesday. And I think one day, Friday, we're going to do our podcast. And then Thursday, we'll probably do the other part of Dear Mama, the Tupac series that's on FX and Hulu. But thank you guys so much for coming through. I really appreciate y'all. The train is pulling into the last stop, and that's it. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Good night.
Good night, guys. I love you. Thanks for coming through. If you didn't hit it on the way in, hit that like button on the way out, because that's your ticket on this train. See you later. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, Diva.
Good night.